Today, we're going to be testing out a new Claude to speech to text plugin. So, this is Claude speech to text plugin, a Claude plugin that lets you prompt using your voice. Now, currently, for example, I use Whisper Flow. So, for example, I pay for this tool, and if I type in something like this and I'm just talking, it will actually translate what I'm saying into text. But the problem is, when you're doing that, as good as it is, like this is kind of like a paid subscription, right? And if I'm paying for Claude and everything else, surely there's a way you can do this inside Claude. So actually, what you can do, according to this, and we're going to test out today, but you can see here on this post from Jared Watts, a shout out to Jared for creating this. You can see here you can go from hotkey to record mic to whisper to type, right? So we're going to test this out, and we're going to go from here, and we're going to start using this. All right. So here is the GitHub. I'll put the link inside the AI Success Lab if you want to test this out. So let me go into the AI Success Lab, January. And if you want to get the notes from today, we'll plug in the link to the tool and resources and notes from today as we go along, all right? All right, so you can see an example right here. So this is how it works. So you can use it inside Claude Code. So you just have Claude Code running. And the first thing you want to do is just make sure that you have Claude running. So you can just go, you can either go to terminal or you can use this on Claude Desktop, I assume, because Claude Desktop has the code tab now as well. And then you're just going to type in Claude here. Make sure you've got Claude running. We're going to hit yes, continue. And now we can start copying and pasting these instructions directly into the terminal here and just seeing if it works or not. Sometimes these things don't work, but we'll test it out and we'll learn together, right? And so here we're going to type in the prompt. We're going to install this. We can choose. I'm just going to install that for me. See if that works. All right, so that's installed now, and then we should be able to run this as well. Let's try it out. We'll probably have to give some permissions as well to get this running. But you can see it's beginning to set up the code. The cool thing about this is like, you don't need to be able to code to do this. You copy and paste your instructions, right? It's pretty simple. And it might have to install a few Python dependencies to get started with that. In the meantime, let's put the setup instructions inside the AI Success Lab. Which, by the way, is a community that connects you with, I think we've got 46,300 members inside there. So make sure you check it out now. Anyway, let's go back to this. So we've got the terminal now setting this up. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how does this work? What is it, etc. So, Claude STT, which we're installing now, gives you voice directly into Claude, right? So you don't need to type anymore, which saves a lot of time. So here's what you get: you get local processing. It's quite fast. You can push to talk, so you just press a button and then it records. Cross-platform, so it works across Mac, Linux, and Windows, which is also super useful. And then also is focused on privacy, so no audio or text is sent to external services. Obviously, if you're using something like Whisper Flow, then that's going to be running on their services and their server and everything, right? And then from here, once we've set this up, which we've got installed on the right-hand side, we just press Control, Shift, and Space to start recording. The audio gets captured from our microphone. We press Control, Shift, and Space to stop recording, and then that's going to start turning it into text, and then we should be able to use that for input. So let's wait for this to load. Here we go. So you can see here it's now asking to set up and allow the settings, which we're going to do. So I'm just going to allow that. We may have to run a new terminal instance once we've set that up. Hello, are you working? So let's see if this works. We can test it out now. So I think we'll have to restart this now. We're just going to terminate that and then we'll run it again. There we go. Boom shakalaka. Look at that. So it actually translated me saying that. So I think we'll have to restart this now. We're just going to terminate that and then we'll run it again. Right. The only annoying thing that I would say is like maybe I wouldn't like to press 3 buttons at the same time, Control, Shift, and Space every single time. But the fact that it works is pretty cool. And that was fairly easy to set up. I mean, we set that up in what, a couple of minutes, ready to go. And again, like the great thing about this is we don't have to use Whisper Flow anymore, right? We can use this plugin directly. So I'm just going to test if this works. Let's see. Boom. Look at that. All right. So it's like magic. You can now, you've basically got a version. So this is Whisper Flow that I'm using right now. And this is Claude Code that I'm using right now. All right, so that's the translation from Whisper Flow, and that's the translation from Claude Code. It didn't seem to recognize the word Claude, which is strange. Maybe that's just my English accent. But you can see the rest of the sentence was fine, and that worked perfectly, didn't it? I wonder if that's rinsing the credits. That's the only thing I want to know here is like, is this using a lot of credits to run the plugin? Either way, it's really cool and easy to set up. So I'm going to take that. Just going to go into Claude here. And we'll ask it using the new plugin how it works. So if I use this plugin, does it use up a lot of credits on Claude Code? And then also, when I'm using this, can I change the hotkey? Yeah, so you can see it's not quite perfect. Like, I think you'd want to add your own vocabulary to this. So for example, you see how it says cool code instead of Claude Code. And then when I actually said hotkey, I actually changed it to hockey. So just be careful with that. And then you can change the hotkey, I think, as well. So let's try this. I'm going to run this command, go into the config file, and then you can change from the default Control, Shift, and Space to any key combination that you prefer. Asper asks, do you prefer using Cursor or do you prefer using Claude Code for creating apps and that sort of thing? My personal favorite is Claude Code. And then I would say after that, probably anti-gravity. I think anti-gravity is super powerful. So yeah, I would go with I would go with Claude Code for sure. It's the best. It's easiest to set up, and also I think if you're non-technical like me, I'm not very technical, then it's much better. So I also want to switch off the sound effects because that's super annoying too. So we'll switch off the sound effects hopefully, and then let's change the hotkey here. And change that to option. So I'm going to change that to yeah. We'll change the hotkey to F9, and then for the sound effects, we'll turn them off. Submit the answers. Asper is also asking about how I create the YouTube videos for AI avatars. So if you want to learn how I create AI avatar videos, go to the AI Profit Boardroom or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. And then if you want to see my full tutorial on how I do that exactly, go to the playbook here and you can see how we create the screen shares for our AI avatar videos. So we've got a full video tutorial right here and also a step-by-step process that we gradually tweak and improve like every single month. So, it will keep improving that process as well. And then also you can see our AI avatar videos right here with the SOP. If you want to know something really crazy, I was looking at this morning. This is one of 10, which is basically my channel that looks at, which videos perform the best, right? So if I type in, yeah, if we go here, for example, right, and you look at my recent videos that perform the best, with over 6 or 10K views, you can see they're all avatar videos, right? So all my best performing videos these days are avatar videos. It's pretty crazy and scary. I can't outperform myself. I can't outperform the AI version of myself. So that's inside the AI Profit Boredom if you want to learn how we create videos like these. So we've changed the recording button to F9. And then we have also switched off the sound effects, which is great. So let's just test this out again now. Hey, are you working? Yeah, let's just test this out. Want to just test if this is working. And then if you want to switch it back, we can go inside here. And then we'll switch it back to Control Shift and Space. and we'll put the sound effects back on. It actually feels a bit weird if you don't have the sound effects on, to be honest with you. You kind of don't know if it's working or not. If you look at Whisper Flow, what it will have is usually when you run it, it will show you whether it's recording or not. So this should be working again now. Now it's done it in Thai. This should be working again now. Yeah, there we go. It's not quite as smooth as Whisper Flow, but it's a decent alternative. And again, it is free and it is open source. So, amazing stuff by Jared. Shout out to Jared. Thanks so much for watching today. If you want to get access to all the video notes, plus the video tutorial, the resources, and the installation setup, you can get that inside the AI Success Lab, which connects you with 46,300 members, like you see. Comes with all of my best trainings, templates, tips, workflows. As you can see, if you go to the January section, you can see our full tutorial from today, along with everything else inside here. And then also inside, if you haven't already checked it out, check out the AI Profit Boardroom community. This is an amazing community for winners who really want to learn and grow and scale their business with AI. So if you want all of my best AI automation workflows, if you want to save time, if you want to scale your team, if you want to give your team like the best workflows for scaling their business with AI, then check out the AI Profit Boardroom, like you can see. And you can post inside here, get help, get technical support whenever you need it. You can jump on live coaching calls. You can go inside the classroom and you get a 6-week AI automation masterclass that takes you from complete beginner to expert in just 5 weeks. Plus, shows you how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. Top of that, you'll get my best playbook on exactly how to automate AI avatar videos, shorts, Twitter automations, everything else. And additionally, you will learn, for example, how I get more clients for my agency. You'll be able to watch back the coaching call recordings. You can see our AI SEO automations and how to build a YouTube AI channel in under 6 weeks. So that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Feel free to get it. Link in the comments description. Asprey says, well, other titles also AI generated. I know that Insane is used a lot. We just test what's working each week and then we recalibrate, right? So for example, when we're doing videos, we look at which titles are performing the best. And then in the future, we recreate more videos that work well, right? So we look at our past performance. We're like, okay, we'll do more of what's working. We'll do less of what's not working. And then we'll go from there. And so like, for example, when we use insane in the titles and stuff like that, honestly, I don't want to. Like, that is not something I want to do at all. But if that's what the people want to see, then that's what matters most. And when I look at the click through rates, I can see what the people want, and we just deliver based on that. So that's how we figure out what our titles are for YouTube and other videos. AI Profit Boardroom is paid. Can you share what tools you use? Um, yeah. So I mean, like everything that we show on screen, right? The way that we do that is quite a complex process. And what I actually did, because I don't do the editing myself, I actually got my video team to edit and basically create a video tutorial inside the AI Profit Boardroom showing how we do it. So for me, like I can't really tell you like the full process step by step, but that's why we have the training video inside the AI Profit Boardroom that breaks it down for you based on what our editors do. So if you want to learn that, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Um, and it's probably the fastest way and the best way to create AI avatar videos based on what's working for me. So feel free to check that out. So Today, we're going to be looking at Shadow, which is a competitor to Claude Cowork. So, if you haven't seen it already, Claude Cowork is a powerful AI agent that sits on your desktop. You can automate all sorts of cool stuff with it. But Shadow is basically a free alternative that basically works in a similar way, apparently, right? So, you don't need to do manual tasks inside Mail or Notes or Excel or any Mac app. You just tell Shadow what you want, and then you can get it done. So, to get this, I'm going to test it out. I don't know if it works or not, but we're going to compare it versus Claude Cowork and just see how it performs and see if it's up to par and whether it's a worthy competitor. So from here, I'm just going to get started with this. We'll download it for Mac. And then the cool thing is it's just a DMG, which should make it easy to use. And hopefully it works. So let's see. We'll test this out. All right. So we've just installed it. And then we can open this up. Open this. Allow. Let's see if we can log in. All right. So we've created a free account. That was pretty easy. And then if we go back to Shadow, now we've got this open, right? Now, you can't actually resize it, but it's going to sit on your desktop like that. And then what we're actually going to do is open up Claude over here, and we'll take a look at Claude Cowork. Now, bear in mind, Cowork is only available on the Max plan, right? And the Max plan for Claude Cowork is something like $200 a month, something like that, right? And so we've got a free alternative here, and we have Claude Cowork, and we're just going to compare side by side how they perform and which one performs the best. So we've got some examples here. So let's take a look at this. Can you update the sales deck with the latest numbers? Interesting. All right. We'll see if you can create a presentation first of all. So we're going to say build out an AI automation themed Tetris game with CTA to the app offer button. The link is here. Funnel traffic to this page. Make sure the game is fun, dopamine inducing crazy colors, etc. Right. And so we actually have a prototype over here of this, which you can see right here. This is the one from Claude Cowork. It runs locally. It was created no code. Let's test it out inside Shadow using exactly the same process. Now, we can reference our actual browser, as you can see, and then we can also attach files to this, which is pretty cool. So let's see what we got here. We may have to allow a bunch of stuff as well, side by side. We'll see how this performs. We can also have a look inside the settings, see what we've got here. So you can actually toggle a window shortcut, which is pretty cool. Alt and space is what you want. And you can also bring your own API key over here as well, which is super useful. The colors are very similar, right? The colors of Claude Cowork and Shadow look very, very similar. So it's beginning to write that now. Let's compare the speed as well of these side by side. So we'll create a new task, doing the same thing inside Claude Code, like you see, Claude Cowork. As per our like For IDEs, which free IDE is worth testing out and checking out? So I think there's only really two that I would personally showcase on a video right now. If you see my recent videos, you probably already know which ones they are. So, in terms of a free IDE with free coding, I would recommend Anti-Gravity. Anti-Gravity is very powerful. You can link MCPs, you can use open code inside there. It's kind of like a copy of Virtual Studio Code, but the difference is that when you're coding out with it, it also has the browser use agent, and it has free APIs for Claude Opus as well, which is awesome. And the MCP is pretty easy too, right? Whereas, for example, if you are, yeah, I mean, there's others, but I would go with anti-gravity and probably open code as well. So Shadow didn't seem to respond to the first one. And it's like, okay, no, I didn't do that. let's uh let's start coding that out right now. So it's beginning to do that, as you can see. So it's created a to-do list here. It's using the right tool, and then it'll start creating the content. But it totally failed on that. So you can see here it's failed at all. We're gonna go back to use your own API key. Let's test that out instead. Maybe that'll work better. So I'm gonna go back to, obviously, if I start using my own API, then it becomes a paid tool. But we'll test this out just to give it another shot and see if it actually works. The one that I have been testing out recently, I'll show you in a second, is not bad at all. I'll come back to that in a second. There's another alternative here that you can use in a second. So we're just going to create a key. There we go. I have to delete that in a sec. All right, so let's go back to Shadow. We'll plug it in. We'll save that. We'll see what we got. I mean, Claude Cowork is superior in terms of speed for sure. And you see also here it says I don't have any previous contexts since we plugged in the command. So let's try again. So this is the third time of entering the prompt. Let's see what we get back. I mean, you can clearly see like Cowork is superior. It's already coded out the game. That worked out perfectly. Even with the API, this is running really, really slow. Whereas the game on Cowork is just it's ready to go, right? It's even got your sound effects in there. Don't know why it's only giving me Z, so that's not making it easy. Boom. All right, that works perfectly. Next off that. This is taking a little while. Yeah, I think this is just not working, is it at all? This is not working. Um, if we go to settings here, we have used our own API key, but even then, it's just not working. If we go back to the conversation, it's still kind of just stuck. But the problem is, like, we don't know where we're up to. You can't see the progress, right? So, for example, inside Claude, you can see what it's working on currently. You can see the steps and where it's up to in each task. With Shadow, you don't seem to get that so much. I will show you one other option though that I think is worth considering, right? So I'm going to shut down. I'm going to leave Shadow in the background. Why not? Why not? All right, but let me show you an example of what you can actually do. So this is with OpenWork. So you can see an example here, and if we say okay, run this, right? This is a free tool called OpenWork, right? And with OpenWork, you can do the same prompt, and it actually works. So this runs locally again. It's kind of similar to Cowork and it's kind of similar to Shadow, but it actually works. And it actually created the content for the game and everything else, right? So you can see that it launched this game, it created it, it works perfectly. It looks beautiful, to be fair. Like the UI is super nice. I like the style on the background and everything like that. And it's pretty quick and easy to use. So I think number one, I'm gonna have to delete that API key from Shadow. Let's close that. Shadow doesn't seem to work. It's just not ready yet. I like the fact that they're giving it away for free, but it's got to work in it. You got to make sure that this stuff works. But you can see here that it can actually code and build out projects for you locally using OpenWork. And I would say that's the better option. If you want to see examples of OpenWork in action, go to the AI Success Lab, link in the comments description, and you'll see a full video tutorial on how to set it up, plus where to get access, right? So you can get access via their GitHub or via their website. You can see an example right here. And it's pretty simple and easy to just download the DMG for Windows and then get this set up. You can also work with skills now as well, which I didn't realize before. So let's have a look here. We go to settings. So you can use a Google or an Anthropic API key. We've saved a couple. You can choose which model you want. You got debug mode if you want it. And now it's got a skill manager as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I would say the OpenWork is much more of a worthy competitor compared to Shadow and Cowork. Let's test something else out now. So if we go back here and we're like, okay, let's create a budget tracker spreadsheet. So we're going to take this one, which is the task we did on Cowork. I'm going to run it inside here as well. See if this can work. So we've got OpenWork on the left-hand side, and we have Cowork on the right-hand side. Obviously, the difference here is like if you're using, for example, Google Cowork, sorry, if you're using Claude Cowork, then it's quite an expensive tool. It costs like $200 a month, right? Whereas if you're using OpenWork, you're only paying for the API. That's it. And you can get cheap APIs with Gemini, with Gemini Flash, that sort of thing. So I'm going to go back here. It's using the browser and it wants to use Google Sheets that way. The other thing you'll notice is like when it was using that browser a second ago, it's not logged into your main browser. Whereas if you're using Claude Cowork, it is logged into your main browser. So the difference here is like, it's good for privacy, but it's bad because you have to log into everything again, if that makes sense. So let's try something else out now. We're going to say, okay, just Google the latest news in AI automation and then make a report for me about YouTube topics I could talk about today, right? Which is like an actual task that I would do day to day anyway, and we can just automate it with OpenWork, but also show you the power of it, right? So it said, right, I'm going to help you do that, blah, blah, blah. It's now opening up a new Chrome browser and it's searching for the latest news AI automation in 2026, right? So it's looking at Google, it's going to scroll through it, it's going to have a look, and it could just do that research. So if you have a look here in the background, it's now going to search for more relevant topics. It's doing more Google searches. It's looking for January 2026 as well. And it's doing this all whilst I'm talking to you. So the cool thing is about whether you're using Claude Cowork or OpenWork, both of these are like no code. Both of them are easy to install. They kind of make AI agents accessible for anyone. And I think like traditionally people like to use programs installed locally. For me personally, I have my laptop is kind of like a Chrome machine, but I think for a lot of people they like to install the actual file and then go from there. So you can see now it's given us a bunch of ideas for topics we could talk about on YouTube. It's done the quick video ideas topics. It gave us a bunch of ideas for trending topics, and it did it all whilst I was talking to you. So that did a pretty good job. I would say that is much more competent than using something like Shadow, but I'm sure Shadow will improve in the future. And if you want a more accessible version of Claude Cowork that is free and you just use your API, then I'd probably go with OpenWork instead. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get all the video instructions for setting up OpenWork for free, if you want to get all the resource links, a 30-day plan for installing this, and also 100 prompts you can test out with OpenWork, you can get that inside the AI Success Lab, link in the comments description. And this is a community with 46,300 members, as you can see. And also inside the AI Profit Boardroom, if you haven't checked it out already, this is an amazing community where we show you how to win with AI, right? So if you want to learn AI automation, if you want to learn how to get more clients, if you want to save time and scale and automate with AI, then check out the AI Profit Boardroom. Like you can see, it's an amazing community where we all support and raise and help each other grow. If you have questions, you can post in the community and get help and support like you can see right here. If you want personal help from me, you can connect with me. I actually answer all of the questions inside the AI Profit Boardroom personally. And then also inside the classroom here, you can get all of my best trainings, right? So if you want to go from like complete beginner to expert in AI and learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes, you can get that inside the classroom. If you want to get my best playbooks on automating X, YouTube videos, avatar videos, faceless channels, you can get that all inside the AI Profit Boardroom here. So for example, you can see my latest screen shares process with a video tutorial and also step-by-step instructions right here. If you want to learn how to get more clients, we've got an agency course here. You can learn from my best coaching calls. And also, we show you how to rank number one inside AI and other AI search engines, as well as how to build out faceless channels with YouTube. So, all of my best playbooks are inside here. Plus, you can jump on live coaching calls, get help, get support whenever you need it. And that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. So, let's answer some of the questions that we've got right here. Aurora says, "Hi, Julian, love your work. When you get a chance, run this NNE stateless model and ask it to run it as a lens to experience something different." Not sure what you mean, but sounds cool. I like the idea of it. Never realized I have three Claude. What if you do it on anti gravity? Not sure what you mean. Sophia says, "Is the chat working?" The chat is working indeed. Looks like Claude Cowork destroys shadow. Yeah, I would agree. I think Claude Cowork is a superior model. But at the same time, if you want a free version, then just use OpenWork. OpenWork is the best. Did I test Conductor? Yeah, you can check out my other videos on YouTube about it if you just type in Julian Goldie Google Conductor. Do you need an API for OpenWork? Yeah, you just plug in your own API directly inside there. And Chowdhury says, I am right now new here. Happy to help. I'm not going to share my WhatsApp number. There's, there's no way. There's no way. But if you want to connect with me personally, check out the Profit Boardroom. Like, just join inside there. You can direct message me and that sort of thing. Um, that's a place that I connect with everyone, right? And you got 2,100 members there as well that you can ask questions and get support from directly right there. All right, so today we are going to be testing out this new way to clone a human voice in real time. All right. So you can see here it's called VoxCPM. This is the tool. I don't know if it works. I'm going to test it out. I'm just interested to try it, and we can ride around the track together and see what happens next. So it says zero shot voice cloning, no specific speaker training, works in streaming mode. So we're going to test this out. As you can see right now, I'm not sure exactly how to run it, but we can figure it out together, and we'll go from here. So we need to, I've got the instructions inside the AI Success Lab, link in the comments description if you want to get access to this. And then we are going to start setting this up. Usually if I have any problems setting this up, I'll just copy and paste the problems into Terminal and then into Claude if I have any problems. So let's get started with this. we need to create a Python script. So I've copied and pasted this, and then I'm going to import this Python code directly in here. And then press Control and X, and then enter. And then we'll try this out. In the meantime, whilst this is coding out, let's see what we got here. So you can fine tune it as well to train personalized voice models on your own data. You can also use this with web UI. So I think you can actually get a nice UI for using it too. And whilst that's loading, I'm just going to get some audio that I can turn um, into something we can clone in the background. So I'll get that from dscript.com, which is where I usually record my videos. So let's grab maybe this example video for an ad, and we'll just download that as audio. It's a .wav file, WAV, however you pronounce it. So let's check if this worked. Took a few minutes. And then we'll try and get the web UI running as well, so we can run this in the UI. So this is just coding out now. I'll be back in a second. All right, should be good to go now. It's hosting it locally. So let's try this out. Boom, look at that. Look at that. So we've got the UI set up. This is VoxCPM. Let's try this out. All right. And so I think we can just plug in the speech here. So this is the target text. You can choose whether you want text normalization. You can generate the speech. And then it should create the output audio over here. Now I'm running this on a Mac Mini. So honestly, a Mac Mini is not that powerful. You can tell by the name, but we'll see how this runs. So I'm going to click on generate, and then it said it can't do it. All right, good stuff. Let's try this out. Any problems, I'm just going to run it through Claude and just say, okay, how to fix this. So what we're going to do is just load some examples. Claude has refused to stop working. You can see here, I keep giving it a prompt and it's ignoring me. So I'm going to try it on this side instead. So let's see if we go back here. This isn't running anymore. All right, so you can see here now, what we've done is we've loaded our example audio for voice cloning inside the UI. We've got some target text, etc. We're going to try and use this prompt text to clone my voice. Let's see if it works or not. So it's now processing. By the way, that was way more work than I would have expected to get this running. But it's the first time I've run something like this. I mean, without Claude, this wouldn't have been possible. You can see all the command lines inside the chat right here. It's super long terminal back and forth saga. But that's what it takes to show you this stuff. So we're going to try this out, see if it works. So it's been processing for about 30 seconds now. We'll see how long it takes to run. Looks like we've got to install another plugin. This is what it takes, oh peeps. This is what it takes. All right, so last time we got to about 35 seconds and then it came up with the error. Let's see what it does next. And we've got to download FFmpeg as well. Can we get past 35 seconds? Wait, we're running it again with FFmpeg. Let's see what we get. Look. So this time around, we ran out of memory using CFG. Get cinematically says what you're trying to create. So we're trying to create a localized voice cloner, right? So we've uploaded some audio inside this GitHub right here, and we're going to use it to try and clone our voice. Now, so far it failed twice because we didn't have the plugin installed in, like FFmpeg. Those have been installed. The next time it failed because we ran out of memory. We're running this on a Mac locally, so maybe that's why. We'll see how it goes. If not, we may try and use like a smaller version, or we'll test some different ways of getting around this. So I'm going to run this with a different CFG file, right? As you can see right here. So previously we were at 2, now we've switched that to 1.5. And then inference time steps, we're going to change from 10 to 5. So let's change that dial down there. Basically just lower down the dials, right? It may reduce the quality, but if it actually works, it'll be worth it. So let's try this out again. One thing we can actually do is actually run this with a shorter video clip. So let's try that. That might work better. Get cinematically says if you're recording from the same laptop you are coding from, it's going to slow it down, which I 100% agree with. Yeah, for sure. Let's see if we can just drag and drop that. There we go. All right, so let's take a smaller clip now, see if that works. So it's certainly taking a bit longer, but it looks to be making more progress. It's never run for 60 seconds before. We could be onto a winner here, peeps. Oh, we got it back. We have the audio back. My goodness. My goodness, have we actually done it? I think we might have done it. All right, let's play this bad boy back, see what we got here. VoxCPM is an innovative end-to-end TTS model from ModelBest designed to generate highly realistic speech. That is way better than my original. Do you know what? That sounds better than 11 Labs. That's crazy. So just to recap here, let's play this again. VoxCPM is an innovative end-to-end TTS model from ModelBest designed to generate highly realistic speech. And you can download the audio here. But that's pretty crazy. So just to recap here, for free, we've downloaded this plugin, installed it. It took a lot of work to set up, but we've cloned our voice. We can clone our voice for free. And honestly, like that voice clone is closer to my actual voice than the 11 Labs Pro clone. If you see my other videos on YouTube using the AI avatar, right? There's a much better version. So it was a crazy amount of work to set up. I wouldn't have done that unless I was creating a video for YouTube to help you, which is what I've done today. You can also remove the background noise. So there is a bit of background noise on this particular video, but you can use the prompt speech enhancement. And then also, if you have a more powerful laptop, you could use this on better quality values. So you could increase the CFG value and the inference time steps as well to get better quality outputs if you have a more powerful laptop. But yeah, surprisingly good. Fair play. I'm impressed. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to try something else now. So I'm going to say chips and beans are my favorite. Is my favorite dinner. It generates speech. See what we got. Back in a sec. So if you want to get like a full setup guide for using this, what I'm going to do is I'll take all the conversation from Claude with the setup instructions, because bear in mind it was a lot of work, but at least it has context on what works and what doesn't. We'll plug that into the setup instructions for VoxCPM. So this is a free AI voice cloner, local voice cloner app. You get the UI, you get the setup instructions, etc. And that's all inside the AI Success Lab, which is a free community with 46,300 people. And you can get all of my latest trainings, as you can see right here, for free. If you go to this section, you can see that we've got a full guide on exactly how to install this locally. Plus, I'll add the link to the Git as well. One sec. So if you want the link to the resources from today, you can get that here too. So thanks so much for watching. Feel free to check out the video notes from today. And then if you haven't already, if you want to grow and scale your business with AI automation, if you want to save time with AI, if you want to get all of my best playbooks and connect with me personally, then you can do that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This is an amazing community where you can ask questions, get help, get support whenever you want, get all my best playbooks. You can also, for example, join our daily accountability group. We actually answer all your questions inside the community as well, and we give out shout outs every week as well. It's a super active community. As you can see, you can post your questions, you can post your goals. We also do weekly updates where I condense 80 hours of my research, like you've seen today, into like a quick 1-minute tutorial that shows you exactly what's worth doing and what's not this week. So you can see an example right here of what's worth your time, and what to skip this week, and also how to avoid shiny object syndrome. And then also inside the win section here, you can see that every week we just share what's working for us. You know, for example, Mike created his first custom GPT. Barb was celebrating. Steve Light was crushing it. You know, and you can see all of that inside the AI Profit Boardroom community. Top of that, inside the calendar, you can get help and support on live calls 4 times a week. So you can jump on live coaching calls for AI automation 4 times per week, get help, get support whenever you need it. And inside the classroom here, you can get all of our best playbooks. So for example, you can see that you can learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes, plus how to go from complete beginner to expert with AI automation in just 5 weeks. You get my best playbooks on how to automate AI avatar videos, how to automate shorts, Instagram, newsletters, Twitter, emails, even how to figure out how to save your time as well. And then you'll learn how to get more clients, how to rank with SEO and AI SEO, and also how to grow and scale a YouTube channel based on what's working for me. So that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Today, I'm going to show you all of the latest Google AI tools, like you can see right here. I'm going to break down what I use them for, how to use them, which ones are the best, and which ones fit the best type of workflows, right? So we're going to kick it off with NotebookLM, which is at notebooklm.google.com. This is a free AI tool for generating media, right? So if you need to generate, for example, a quick faceless video or an audio overview like a podcast or an infographic or a flashcard, based on your research that you can automatically pull in over here, then I'd recommend NotebookLM, right? Now, it's awesome as well for creating a quick custom built chatbot. So, for example, if you have research, so let's say I'm researching the new update from Claude Cowork, which is a new AI update that came out this week, then inside the chat here, I can ask any questions that I have, right? So I can say, okay, what is this update? What is Claude Cowork? Right. And it's actually custom trained on all the materials that I've pulled in automatically from YouTube and across the web right here. So if you just want a general research tool that is free and can automatically create a chatbot custom trained on that particular topic, or you want to learn about a topic, then I'd recommend NotebookLM, right? Now, if you want something that's kind of like ChatGPT, but it's custom trained and personalized to you because it has all your information, for example, like your Google accounts, your Google Drive, your Sheets, etc., then I would recommend Gemini, right? And also, the reason that I'd recommend going directly to Gemini is also you can generate images and videos really, really quickly, right? So you can see these create images and create videos options right here. If we pull up some examples from recently, you can see an example of an image that we generated using a very detailed prompt, right? And it creates beautiful images. It can also, for example, plan out itineraries. So, for example, like I'm going to Tokyo early March, and you can see examples of how it created this beautiful app right here. So it's great for planning. It's great for images. It's great for example, editing images as well. So you can see here, for example, we said change MCP to Claude in this image. So change that to Claude, and it did it perfectly right there. Beautiful, right? The other thing that is pretty cool for is actually turning images into videos and also just quickly creating these apps, right? So you can see here, for example, it created this mini app for a game with a canvas preview. So we've got the chat on the left-hand side and the game on the right-hand side, right? So just to recap it, NotebookLM, awesome for learning, awesome for custom chatbots, awesome for quickly generating faceless audio and videos and also flashcards. Gemini, awesome for images, awesome for videos, awesome for research, like for example, trips away, and then also really good for building out games and mini apps, right? Now let's talk about Workspace and Google Flows. So Google Flows is kind of like a version of Zapier, if you've ever come across that. And you can see, for example, we can automate a daily summary of our unread emails, right? So I could say on a schedule, recap my unread emails, notify me in Google Chat, and it will just go off and do that, right? So it's like a no-code way of doing this. So you can see another example where we actually do a daily recap of what's happened in AI in Google Docs automatically for me daily, right? And these workflows and these AI agents just work daily in the background, right? So for example, if I click on the activity tab here, I can quickly create workflows and then I can just get these workflows running in the background. I actually totally forgot this is running, but you can see we've got a recap of the latest news from yesterday, right? So let's have a look at this example, right? Here's an example. So it recaps everything that happened over the last day or so from my emails and then puts it in a Google Doc, right? Now, how do you set these up? You just go to the Discover tab. I've got loads of training inside the AI Success Lab, which is a free community. Link in the comments description if you want to know how to use this. But essentially, that is how Google Workflows works, right? Let me have a look here. Yeah, just type in Google Flows and you'll see all our training on that and exactly how to use this as an AI agent. So just to recap here, if you want to automate workflows, for example, recapping your emails or, for example, researching daily news and then putting that into a Google Doc, Google Flows is really good for that. Gemini is great for the apps and NotebookLM is great for learning. Now, Opal is quite an interesting one. This is another free tool from Google Gemini. And what it allows you to do is create mini apps, right? So for example, here you can see we've got this blog post writer, right? And essentially in Google Opal, you can create a mini app like this. And it's kind of like a no-code version of NA10. And on the left-hand side, we have the workflow. And on the right-hand side, we have the actual app we can test, right? If we go to the app section at the top, so we can switch between editor and app, we can actually test out the app directly. But then you want to put in a topic you want to learn about. So let's say, for example, Claude Cowork AI update, right? And then it will actually do the research. And after it's done the research, you'll actually draft a blog post, right? So it's kind of like a mini app where you're in like one screen couple of different pages, nothing too complex, and it does it, right? And you can see we've got a bunch of ideas, like, for example, finding content gaps, creating blocks, learning Spanish, um, chopping up our existing content and then turning that into 100 pieces of content, right? This is how easy it is. And then if you want to learn this, again, I've got loads of training inside the AI Success Lab. So if you type in, for example, Google Opal over here, you'll see all our different trainings and tutorials on this stuff, right? But if you want to learn how to use it, basically all you do is you just describe what you want here, right? So you say, okay, create an SEO blog post writer, or create a YouTube thumbnail generator, right? And it will turn your prompt, your plain English prompt, into a workflow that you can easily generate, right? And it'll have the editor over here, and then it'll have the app over here. Next up, we have Google Stitch. Google Stitch is actually really good for design work, right? So if you want to redesign your website, like you can see right here, you can actually redesign your website, take in your existing content, and then you can say, okay, redesign this page so it looks more modern, or redesign this page so it looks more interesting, or redesign this page so it converts better, right? And it'll actually give you free redesigns of your content, which I think is great. It's a free tool, easy to use, easy to set up. You can see an example of what it actually gave us an output right here. And again, you just go back and forth inside the chat. So if you want to just redesign the front end of your website, this is one of the best tools. Then we have Google Anti-Gravity, which basically creates full scale apps, right? So for example, the back end and the front end. So, I mean, as an example of this, let me pull up Anti-Gravity here. So if we go to anti-gravity, like so, this is an example of how we can build an app. So we just go inside the chat here, we ask it to build an app or a website or a landing page, and then from there, it will actually go off and do that, right? So for full stack apps, this is one of the best ways to do it. Let me show you an example. So for example, yesterday on the live stream, I created a daily accountability tracker, like you can see right here. We actually packaged it up for the iOS store. And if we go inside the chat, you can see that we've actually deployed this to a website, right? So we created an app from scratch. We built the whole thing out, and then we deployed it to a subdomain, like you can see, right? So if you want like a full stack mobile app with a database, a login, a front end, a back end, you know, an ability to store data as a database, then you would use something like Anti-Gravity, which again has free tiers, right? I'm on the free tier and I built all of that for free. Right? And then the final Google AI tool that I wanted to show you was Google AI Studio. AI Studio is amazing for generating mini apps that, for example, link directly to something like Nano Banana, right? Let me show you an example, right? So I actually use this tool daily to generate thumbnails. So if you have a look at my thumbnails on YouTube, a lot of the ones, particularly for the live streams, are generated with AI, like this one right here, right? And the way that we do this is we just go into the upload section here. We would upload an image that we want to change. So let's pull this up. So let's say, for example, I wanted to edit this thumbnail, and then I can say, okay, change this to neon colors. And it's got this mini app just inside the direct chat here that I can quickly generate thumbnails for, right? And it's linked to the APIs and the ecosystem of Google to generate images directly, right? So I can automate something like thumbnails. I don't need a thumbnail designer. And I can quickly create 3 different thumbnails that I can test on YouTube, right? Now, the way that I do this is literally what I do is I go directly inside the chat and I would say something like create a beautiful thumbnail designer, right? Simple as that. You can actually go back for your previous prompts here. So if we have a look at the code assistant history, you can see that the original prompt we said was, let's have a look here, was like, create a thumbnail designer, right? And if you want to build with AI Studio, I've got loads of training inside the AI Success Lab, which is completely free again. And if you type in AI Studio here, you can learn how to basically build and automate anything with Google AI Studio. And it's pretty easy to set up, and it actually creates stuff that I personally use every single day, right? So if you want something that's actually useful for your business, AI Studio is one of the best places to do it. And the way that you can do this is you would just go to, for example, aistudio.google.com. Then from here, you're going to go to, you're going to go inside the chat, go to build, type in what you want over here. And then let's say, for example, you want to create a voice app where you attach voice, right? If you want to use images, then you attach Nano Banana. But basically, you can build any apps that you want using this AI tool from Google, right? And if we go back to the chat here, we've got the new thumbnails ready to go, as you can see, and they look pretty nice. Like I could happily test any of those, and it's actually useful for me. I could use that every single day because it's, if we have a choice between automating images or using a thumbnail designer, I'd much rather automate it and save time and help my team scale faster, right? So the final tool that I wanted to show you as well was Pomeli. Now, Pomeli is quite good for generating marketing creatives, but it's not available in my country. It's not available in a lot of countries, so that's why I'm not going to show it. I know otherwise some people say, "What about Pomeli?" inside the comments. So I want to show you that Pomeli is not available everywhere. So just to recap here, Notebook.lim, awesome for research, awesome for infographics, awesome for faceless videos and audio. For creating images, videos that are personalized, for creating mini apps, games, and even, for example, itineraries for traveling or research and that sort of thing, I'd recommend using something like Gemini directly, right? Simple and easy, especially if you're not technical, because you can just put in plain English what you want, enable the canvas, boom, shakalaka, you got this nice little website ready to go, right? Opal is awesome for creating mini apps, like, for example, a blog post writer, that sort of thing with a nice UI. If you want to redesign the front end of your website, then you can use Google Stitch, and then you just plug that into whatever IDE or code builder you use. For building full stack apps and deploying them, I would use Google Anti-Gravity. And then finally, for actually building out like these mini apps that I use day to day, like thumbnail generators, I would use something like AI Studio. And that's basically all the new Google AI tools and how I'd use them and the use cases summed up and shown. And I've shown you exactly how I use them directly today. Right? I've got trainings on all of these inside the AI Success Lab. Link inside the comments description, or just go to ChatGPT and say Julian Goldie AI Success Lab. If you go inside the community here, you can see you connect with 46,300 members. So you can join all of these members who are winning and learning and growing with AI. You can get all of my free trainings right here. Loads of stuff on Google and the latest AI updates. I've even got stuff on, for example, like this free AI local voice cloner app that you can use if you want to see how to, for example, like, turn Claude into a text-to-speech operator or build anything with Notebook.lim and Gemini. We have free trainings inside the classroom right here. And then if you want to connect with me personally, if you want to learn about AI automation, if you want to learn how to scale your business with AI, feel free to join the AI Profit Boardroom. This is a community of 2,100 serious entrepreneurs who are growing, scaling, and saving time with AI. And you can see, for example, inside the community is very active. We all help each other learn, grow, support. We raise each other up. It's very, it's an amazing community with lots of good vibes inside there. And then you can ask any questions that you have and get help and support whenever you need it. So, for example, Yasmin had a question on anti-gravity yesterday. We got straight back to her, like you can see. If you want to share your wins, which a lot of people are doing, then you can see how people are winning and learning and growing with AI. It's not just me. Loads of people are getting awesome value with this stuff. We actually have, let's have a look here. Yeah, for testimonials on the AI Profit Boarding, we have over 114 pages. It's pretty insane. Like, so many people getting amazing results with this stuff. And you can see all these great testimonials and people just winning with this stuff, right? Inside the AI Profit Boarding. So you can also, for example, join our daily accountability group. So you can post your goals, get help, get support, learn with the community. And then you can join our 4 weekly coaching calls per week. So, if you need to jump on a live call with an AI automation expert, get help, get support, maybe even meet the community on a live call, right? Then you can do that on the 4 coaching calls per week. And then also inside the classroom, we have my best trainings. So, for example, if you want to learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes, you can learn exactly how to do that right here. If you want to learn how to go from beginner to expert with AI in just 5 weeks, you can learn that inside this section. If you want to get my best playbooks on, for example, how to automate Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, if you want to learn how I create these AI avatar videos and my full process, we have training guides right here. So we have step-by-step video tutorials along with the video instructions. And then also inside the classroom, you can learn, for example, my best lead generation and social media workflows. You can learn how to get more clients with the agency course. You can learn how to rank #1 inside ChatGPT and Perplexity and Claude and AI search engines. And then also you can see how to build out a YouTube channel based on what's working for me. So you can get that all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or just go to aiprofitboardroom.com and it's all right there for you, my friends. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers. Bye bye.